Hi guys, I have a lot to show you today. I've actually got 3 things going on here, so I know it may look like I have a lot of pots and pans in front of me, but actually these all go together and it's really super simple. So I wasn't even sure if I was gonna get the video off today because Pepe decided he was going to get to the gate and go 5 houses up the neighborhood. So to my surprise, when I went to let him in, couldn't find him. I was almost in tears. I had to go get the Cheerios and go up the street and lure the pig back down the street. So imagine looking out your window and on your front lawn you see a pig. So that's what happened to my neighbors this morning. But he's back, he's at my feet here, and we are ready to cook. So today I wanted to show you guys an amazing dish that I love. It is my husband's actual favorite, and it's a big seller at the restaurant, and it's if you spelled it out, it's called manicotti, but for Italians and New Yorkers, it's manicotti. So this is a manicotti shell. It's pasta and it's ribs. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. And I cooked this already, so it was a good 10 minutes boiling in the water. And then I took it out when it's al dente, which means to the teeth. So it's a little bit hard still. This way, when I go to stuff it, it doesn't rip. So I cooked them up and I just kept them with some oil on them so they didn't stick together. So this is a good plan ahead, meal if you wanted to do these ahead of time one night while you're cooking something else. Cook up the shells, put them in the refrigerator, and they would be fine. So the next thing I wanted to show you guys, you know me, I love my coffee. I have so much coffee. Coffee is my love language. I love it. It just gets me through the day. It's my guilty pleasure. So I was going through the store and I found a French press. Okay, I know you guys are probably like, Jen, you have a Keurig, push the button, it's so easy. But I've always wanted to try this. And so yesterday I made one, it was delicious. So this is the little French press and it's got the filter up here. So when I made the coffee yesterday, I don't know if it was just a mental thing or not, but I swear it was better than any coffee I'd ever had before. So I'm just going to, I boiled the water already, I have the coffee in the bottom, and I'm just going to put it in enough to make myself a cup of coffee. So you put this in here now, and you put the filter on the top, but we're not going to push it all the way down. We're going to let this steep for 4 minutes, and it's going to be the most amazing coffee. But in the meantime now, I want to show you how to make ricotta cheese. It's one of my favorites. I love it. I spoon it out of the container, and I could put either something salty on it, or I could put something sweet on it. I love it. I'm going to give Pepe a couple Cheerios here. This is his new thing. We've got him strawberry banana Cheerios, and he just goes around the house and he just picks them up like a little vacuum and he loves them. Okay, so I see a lot of people on already, and I want to say hello to Lisa and Polly. I see you, Diane, and my friend Joan. And tomorrow, Joan, it's going to be feeling like Jersey weather down here because we're supposed to be getting really cold temperature and rain, so we might get a little precipitation. So a lot of people are very excited about it. Okay, so to make ricotta cheese, first of all, you have to have the right pot. I made some before, and I used my copper pot, and it didn't work out. And I kept saying to myself, what is wrong? What is going on? You have to have a non-reactive pot because we're going to be putting in acidity in here, and that's what actually makes the cheese turn to the curd. So if you ever heard that little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffet eating her curds and whey. When I was a kid, I had no clue what curds and whey was. Now I know. Let me show you. This is the curd, and the milk in here is the whey. So people that work out, bodybuilders and stuff, and they drink that whey protein, that's part of it. So it's separated curds and whey. So you start with 8 cups of whole milk, 8 cups. And I wouldn't slack. I've never used skim or 2%. I just always use whole. And we're going to try to get this temperature up to 200. So I have a thermometer here that I'm just going to hook on the side of my pot. And this way it's gonna allow me to keep a watch of the temperature. Now, I also used a wooden spoon because I didn't know if metal would, have, a different outcome on it. So I used a wooden spoon with it and it came out perfect. We're going to add to this milk mixture. Now, we don't want it to boil. We have to make sure we watch it because we don't want it to boil. We just want it to come to a very low simmer around the edges. And then we want to put the lemon in it. And that's what's going to curdle it is the acidity in the lemon. If you don't have a lemon, you could use vinegar, just regular white vinegar. Okay, I'm going to add one teaspoon of salt to this because we're going to give this cheese a little bit of flavor. So it's 1 teaspoon of salt. I just realized I didn't have my microphone on, but it is in. So you guys probably can still hear me because I talk so loud. But I'll just clip it on just to make sure. Okay, so now I have to be careful with the cord. All right, so I put the salt in, and I'm checking the temp, and it's almost at 200 already. So I'm just going to keep kind of like stirring it around and make sure the heat is throughout all of the milk together. And then I'm going to get ready with 1 lemon. So 1 lemon is like, it should equal a 1/4 cup of lemon juice. So, and I highly recommend a real lemon. So I'm just going to kind of roll this a little bit, to get the juices going. And inside, I'm going to cut the lemon in half. And I'm going to get it ready to put in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to move some stuff around. The temperature is at almost 200. It's between 175 and 200. I did 175. It didn't curdle that well. Like I said, I did a couple batches because I wanted to make sure when I taught you guys this, I did it right. So while we're waiting for that, besides the manicotti right over here, the shell's done, I went ahead and I greased down a casserole dish, 9x13 casserole dish. And I have a little pot back here of marinara that's warming up, and that's our meat cheese marinara. I just brought a jar home last night. So I have that warming up. So now let's see, we are at 200. We're going to give it one more stir. Yes, Pep, what can I do for you? You're out of Cheerios. Okay. He's out of Cheerios. So on a rainy day, I have to keep him busy. So I just have to keep throwing cereal and all this stuff on the floor. And he just goes around like a little Hoover and he eats it. I should have named him Hoover. That's what it should have been. Okay. We are at 200. I'm going to show you the thermometer. It's at 200. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn off the heat. So I'm turning off the heat and I'm just going to move this a little bit off of the flame. And now I'm going to add in the lemon. And the lemon, the acid from the lemon is what's going to make this curdle. And I'm going to, that's the longer process, right? In, okay. And remember, we want 1/4 cup. So I think one more the other side, like 1 whole lemon will do it. Now I'm going to squeeze this in there. You might think, well, maybe this is going to taste really lemony. It brightens it up and it makes it really fresh. It's delicious, trust me. I've been eating the ricotta all day. It's terrible. All right, so now we just want to lightly stir this and not really touch it, because if we start, it's already curdling up. It's already curdling. If we start to like stir this vigorously, it's going to break them all up and not going to be any good. We're just going to leave this to continue to curdle, and I'm going to show you what happens. Once that starts to get a little curdly in the pot, I went ahead, and now I have a fine mesh sieve here. It's very, very, very like fine together. It's not like a strainer. This is an actual sieve. So I went ahead and I poured that whole mixture through this sieve. And what happened was it left me with these curds. And then it left all the other mixture in the bowl. And like I said before, there's not really much I want to do with this. It's just kind of like scorched milk a little bit. But I want this. This is the fresh ricotta. This is what we're going to be putting inside of our manicotti. So it is so good, guys. Like, Oh, I cannot tell you how good it is. Just put a little olive oil over this with some broccoli or something, and it's so good. I already have some. Let me see if I can move this now to show you guys. So in this big bowl, I already have some ricotta in here. And so now I'm going to add the good, and it goes right in. So I'm going to have to clean this before we do our next batch. So I'm just going to mix it up. This is going to be so good. Yeah, you can buy the ricotta in the store, and it is much easier. I understand. But, if you're feeling, got energetic and you want to, try something new, try the ricotta cheese. Look how easy this is. So this does take a while to curdle. And then I did have this draining through probably for about an hour. So this is like a Sunday meal. This isn't something you want to do on the weeknights. This is a Sunday meal. Okay, so I have the fresh ricotta in here. And to this now, I'm going to add, now would be the time if you wanted to add like bolognese. You could do that, which is basically the meat. You could do the sausage or the hamburger. You could put that in there. Some people like to do like a seafood manicotti, so you could add like crab meat into this and little baby shrimp or something like that. But I'm going to do some spinach. So I have the frozen spinach, defrosted, squeezed out, all that liquid squeezed out, and now I'm just left with like the actual spinach itself. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add this. You don't have to. I mean, I like it. It gives it a nice color and it adds a little bit of flavor. Right now we're running a special at the restaurant with some ravioli like this. It's got the cheese, 3 cheese, and spinach, which makes it basically called like a Florentine. So I'm just going ahead and putting a little bit of spinach in there. Get that out of the way. Pepe, why are you by the door? You were just out. He's actually learned now that if he goes to the door, he gets to go out and go potty. So now my thinking is, does he want to go potty or does he want to try to slip through the gate? Yeah. Look how pretty this is already. I love it. Okay. I didn't forget about my French press. I got my coffee in here. Now, what we do, I'm going to move this so I can show you, if you guys can see. We slowly take this filter and push it down through, and that's it. And what happens is it filters through the water and it makes all that coffee in there. And now it's beautiful. Look at how fresh brewed it looks. It even has like that little foam on the top. It's my new guilty pleasure. Look at this beautiful coffee, guys. And I don't even need to put the electricity on or anything like that. It's perfect. It smells really, really good. So let me just move this out of the way for a sec. Pepe? All right. Get my half and half. Put this back on. I can't have coffee without half and half. No matter how good it is, I got to have half and half. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of that in there. So there, now I just showed you how to use a French press. I don't know if you're ever going to use it, but it's great. You know what? If the power goes out, you can just boil water outside on a grill and use a French press. How's that? So anyway, this coffee is so delicious. I'm so thrilled I got one. It's so different from a Keurig, guys, because a Keurig just goes through that pod and barely, does the coffee. Okay, let's get back to the manicotti now. And let me check my curd while I'm at it. Oh my goodness, look how big these curds are on this. This is actually a better batch than the 2 batches before. I'm getting the trick of it now. Okay, so I've got my ricotta in here. I put in the spinach. I'm going to put in probably about a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. And yes, I'm using 4C. I put this on one of the websites the other day and someone was like, shame on you for using cheese out of a jar. This is fresh cheese. This is 4C. I'm all about it. Okay, and we're going to mix this in. And now I have 1 egg. And now this is kind of old school to add the egg to it, but I like it because it binds it together. Here, Peps. I see you looking. Here, baby. Ooh, I got you a blueberry in there. All right. Egg goes in. Mix it all up. And then my husband's going to be surprised because he's going to, I make him dinner every night. And Thursdays, he always gets what I make on the video. And so He's not a huge Italian eater, which, you know, is like a carnal sin, but he's a meat and potato man, but he does love manicotti. So he's happy to be having this tonight. Okay, we're going to put a little pepper in and a little salt in here because we did not. The ricotta was seasoned when it was made. And now this is our little trick at the restaurant, we'll use nutmeg. So we like to put like a little nutmeg into our cheeses when we bake them in the oven. They have this nutty flavor and it just really enhances the cheese. So I'm just going to put a quarter of a teaspoon because nutmeg is a really, really strong spice. So that's done. And we're mixing this all around. We put it in our lasagna, when we make stuffed shells, everything. And the last thing I'm going to put in, and I know a lot of people will probably be like, no, you put that on the end. We want to make it 3 cheese. So we're going to put in the mozzarella, shredded mozzarella. And I use the kind from the bag, the part skim, because if you were to use like fresh mozz in here, it's very wet, has a lot of water in it, and it would make your shells very watery. So we're just going to put in, I'm going to say half a cup here. I'm going to eyeball it, of the shredded mozz. We're mixing this all together. Now I'm going to have a lot of ricotta left over, but it won't be wasted. Trust me. Bring it to work. We'll stick it right into the lasagna. Okay, now this is such a beautiful mixture already, if you guys can see it. So it's the ricotta, it's the Parmesan, it's the shredded mozz, spinach, egg, salt, pepper, and nutmeg. Just like your mama used to make. Okay, I'm done with this. And let me show you now. I do have a little bit of basil here, which we can probably just rip up and just put in. Basil's always wonderful for just an extra added flavor. Let me see if I can see some people. Hi, Chris. You did make it today. I'm so happy. I'm so happy you were watching. I saw Teresa on here, and I see Diana. Okay, this is a beautiful mixture, guys, and it is ready for our shells. Okay, let's check on this curd. Are we ready to see this? Look, guys, look at this ricotta cheese already. That's how good it makes it. So what we're going to do is, before we get going, I'm going to switch out here, and I'm going to see if I can pour it through this sieve. I'm going to get rid of this way, and we're going to try to put it in here. All right. Look at the lumps. Look at all that ricotta. Okay, now comes the long part. Because now is the part where you wait for it to drain all of that liquid out, and then you're left with those curds. And you can like slowly, see how it's coming out? You can slowly like stir it around like this if you want to, or you can if you're impatient like me, you can stir it around, or you can just put it to the side and forget about it. And then when you go back to it later, it's all drained out. So I'm going to put that aside. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to assemble the manicotti. So you got how to make the ricotta. 8 cups of milk and 1 teaspoon of salt. Bring the temperature up to 200 degrees, a small little boil around, little tiny bubbles around the outside rim of the milk. Then you go ahead and you add in 1/4 of a cup of lemon juice. If it's a lemon, a whole lemon, cut it in half, squeeze it in, let it sit. You'll start to see it curdle immediately. And now look at this already, guys. Look at all this ricotta cheese. And this will continue to drain, and you'll just be left with that delicious, rich, luxurious cheese. It's incredible. Okay, now we're going to make the manicotti. In the bottom of our sprayed pan, we are going to put a little bit of marinara. So this is a 9 by 13, And we're just going to put enough in here to cover the bottom because even though we sprayed it, we want to give our shells a bed to lay on. So just a couple tablespoons here of this marinara on the bottom. And we can go ahead and put it on here because that's already warm. We can turn that one off. And now I'm going to get my first shell. Now you could get fancy and put this in a piping bag and, you know, get it all fancy and going through. But you know what? I'm just going to use a regular little teaspoon and I'm going to put it in here. You got to use just like this. It'll fit, trust me. It's easier when you use a piping bag. That's how we do it because this would take 1,000,000 years this way. And it just goes all the way down. See how I'm filling that? And then we're going to put that in. Guys, I got to tell you, I'm so glad I got that French press. That coffee, it's like gourmet coffee. And then I'm just going to turn around and I'm just going to finish this side. Ooh, baby, these are good. Okay, there we go. Look how beautiful that is. And we're just going to put them right down in the pan. And I went ahead of time and I already figured out how many fit in here, and it's 8 shells. So a serving size, if you want to serve it with meatballs or sausage, I would say a serving size is between 2 or 3 of these shells. So if you're a hungry person, you might be able to have more of these. Guys, I hope you try to make the ricotta. It's really fun. When it comes out like that, like I hadn't made it in a long time since my friend Nick showed me how. So the first time I tried it, I failed. I'll tell you, I used the wrong pot and it just did not work out well. So don't be upset. Everybody fails at stuff, but just try it again. So I tried it 2 more times and I made such wonderful ricotta, and that's what I'm putting in my shells now. And it's like such a great feeling of accomplishment. Like, I made this whole meal. If I'd have really gotten energetic, I could have made the pasta. How's that? Okay, there's number 2, and these are really nice and stuffed. Okay, so I'm going to finish stuffing these, and then I'm going to put them in the oven. What are you saying to me, Chris? I want some of that. Yeah, it's at the restaurant. My daddy always enjoyed his coffee. And really? Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, my dad was a huge coffee person. That's where I get it from. My mom, all of us are, my whole family. We are definitely coffee lovers. But the French press, I think that's the most thing I'm excited about today. Okay, guys, let me show you now. I would never not make this and show you the real deal. Here are the manicotti. I actually made some for you guys. So I want to take one out here. And I want to try to eat it and show you. It's nice and warm already, so I'm just going to get a fork. And here's that ricotta still. Look how beautiful it is. It's getting all the liquid is draining out of it. And it's getting really clumpy now, all like curdy, that we want to call it. And I'm going to get a fork and I'm going to show you how amazing the manicotti is here. It's still a little warm, so I'm just going to take one out of here. It's delicious. Look at this. Look at this. Cheese pull. Delish, huh? I guess I'll just get a fork and show you guys, or a plate and show you guys the real deal. What up, Peppy? Okay, they come out of here pretty easy because remember we greased it and it had a little bed to lie on. So this is one of the manicotti. Oh, this cheese is killing me. It's so good, guys. I'm going to cut it and show you. I made these earlier. Inside is all that cheese and the spinach, and it's just delicious. It's actually coming out the back. That's the best. You serve it up with a little bit of salad or a meatball and sausage. It's delicious. It's a great meal. So either you can come into a meat cheese and order it because we have it daily, or you can make your own at home. I just showed you how. Some sauce, some cheese, and some of these.
Guys, this ricotta, it's all done. And that's how quick it was. It's 25 after. I made a whole meal in 25 minutes. Enjoy, guys. I'm going to go enjoy my coffee again. I will put the recipe up in the directions on how to make the ricotta cheese so that when you're ambitious or on a rainy day like this weekend, you can try to make it and surprise your family. You guys have a great one. As always, I'm so happy you guys are with me. Say bye, Peppy.